Man, I'm getting mad Selena vibes from your mom when she was in her youth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
And now I see your mom tatted. And just earlier today, she was like, hey, did that girl pay you?
I know.
And you're like, yes, Mom, I made it safely to Hollywood. Yes, I'm here for a podcast interview. But sure, that girl did pay me, Mom. Thanks for wondering.
She's so strong, and I just love that about her.
This is Talks and Sips episode. What episode is this? Episode 12. Whoa. Yeah. This is Talks and Sips episode 12, Vintage Dirty Laundry. Scene one, take one. I used to throw it and I'm breaking it. Anyway. All right. Welcome to Talks and Sips, where fun is the best chaser. I am your host, Jess Cisneros, a.k.a. Jayfoxx, helping you get through your ebbs and flows on another sip-worthy week. Grab your fave bevy, sexies, yes you, and get ready to hear some new, informationally funny 401 on today's show. Psst, psst, guest, talk to me.
Hi, this is Mallory.
Oh, hi, Mallory. What's up?
Nothing much. Just here.
Well, that's great. Well, did you know? Yeah, that's totally cool. Did you know that at one point in history, the link between fashion and old clothing made the fit, i.e. the fit, an indicator of one's social status? For example, if the lining of a jacket from a time too recent to be fashionable or classic meant right away that that person wearing said drip, if the lining was too close in our time frame, then they were of lower class. Boo.
Wow. Yeah.
So glad that fashion has grown out of that phase. And just like that, we've already learned something together. Thanks, Talks and Sips podcast. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you know. And just like that, it's time. Yes, guys, your favorite time, somebody's favorite time out there. It's time for a jingle. And this is when we introduce who? Our guest. I am the podcaster. Hey, podcasting all night. I hear guest stories and get so hyped. Ooh. Mallory's a star in her own right. We're talking fashion tonight. You know she looks so good tonight.
Thank you.
Our drip is so on fire. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hey, la 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 la.
I love that.
Do you like? Yeah.
I love Iggy Pop.
Oh, I knew it. I felt it. I was like looking through songs and was like, which one would fit? And it was like fashion, this, that, and then I was like, oh, this is it. The passenger. I love it. I got it. You know what? You had sent me a voice. Before we get on tangents, guys, introduce yourself. Who is you, girl?
I am Mallory Moriel, who owns Vintage Dirty Laundry located in Redondo Beach.
Yeah. So a fashion icon is in my studio today. Ooh, thanks for blessing me, girl.
Of course. You are blessed.
Oh, my God. Is that? Wait, did I just? Oh my God, I just made $1 million because I've been blessed.
Yes, you did.
Just kidding. No, but yeah, so basically you had sent me a voice memo the other day and I hear, I think it was like Dust in the Wind playing in the background. And I was like, oh, if she's doing vintage dirty laundry, she's doing vintage music too.
Oh yes, all day long. A little bit of you too.
Hey, okay. So vintage dirty laundry is?
We are a fashion, vintage, recycling shop. So we like to specialize. We're all about recycling, like every bit, like from our stuffing to sometimes our bags or hangers, everything. There's enough things out there. We don't like, although our store does look cute, we don't care about, like having, like matching hangers and having like cute little stuffing,
so it's definitely not just, because oh my God, I was in West Hollywood the other day and I just hear some people talking about a shop that was down the street and it's literally one of those shops that was like marble glass painted white and it had like 1 or 2 racks of clothes with probably like 5 items on each rack. And it's like, there's no price tag on this. what am I buying?
Yeah.
Right? And
there's a reason why they don't have price tags.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Oof. And so I like that. I like that you guys aren't focused on the minute. Yeah. You're more focused on the community, your
definitely.
Branding. And that's just from what I've
fashion.
been able to see.
Yeah.
And fashion.
Yes, 100%.
And you guys have created your own brand, right?
Oh, yeah. So it's a woman, mother and daughter owned business. And so, we started off a very long time. I kind of grew up in the business, and
I want to hear about the OG days, because right now we're gonna show there, somewhere here, what the storefront looks like. But what did it look like before? Like how? I want to hear about your mom.
It looked like everything in the truck. Mm-hmm. We will pull it out, set it up, and then put it back in when we're done.
Wow.
So our store practically was a truck that we would go and vend at pop-ups, swap meets, flea markets, if you want to call them.
Big mobile energy.
Oh, yeah. It was hard times. Honestly, I wouldn't imagine doing it any other way.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So my mom showed me all the steps, It started off with her. She always loved fashion, but she always loved vintage too. So she introduced me to vintage at a very young age, going to certain flea markets that even though we vended, we would even, like, on our days off, we would go and walk.
Oh.
And I really, I had, my idols for, like, fashion were my mother and the Japanese.
I love it. And I remember I went to your pop-up the other day and you mentioned that, and it blew my mind, because I would have never thought, like, the Japanese, please teach me, because what does that mean?
So back in the days, every so often, I want to say maybe 3 times out of the year, you would see, and I was working at a flea market in Torrance. Mm-hmm. It's called the Rhodium. Every 3 times a year, they would come. Like, literally, they looked like they would even be brought, like, in buses.
Wow.
Sometimes on their own, if I'm thinking maybe they rented a car. Anyways, and you would see them, like, their fashion was, like, out of here. Like, it was amazing. And I just loved every piece, because they would match, like, the Western, the very 50s, like, hip hop street style.
They would blend.
So I think that's what I kind of have. Like, I love new fashion too, don't get me wrong, but vintage is like, like, that's mine.
And that's what I love, because you've built the community with your shop, right? Fast forward to today, and you have a clientele, I'm sure, that comes and they're like, hey, Mallory, and I love that. And so your mom, was this something that you and her shared together, or was
honestly,
it you and siblings and her?
You know what? It was, I have an older sister. We're 7 years apart.
Wow.
Her name's Julie. She's
super awesome. I have a sister named Julie,
no
too.
No way. Yeah. Oh, my God.
She's
older or younger?
Older.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
4 years. 3 years? One of those.
So, she's always been into fashion, but it was mostly me and my mom. Aww. It was mostly the us two, and, like, we just love fashion. I mean, like I said, she was my fashion idol. Like, my mom, just all her looks, the red lipstick, always with the red lipstick, Mm-hmm. I remember back in the 90s, I must have been like 8 or 9. She would wear her red lipstick, and always with her bangs. She's always had bangs.
I love it. Like Betty bangs?
Like,
or
no, just the normal? Just straight,
yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I miss my bangs.
Yeah, so do I. So, she would wear, like, her red lipstick with always her jet black hair. Ooh. With, like, a white button up, collar, long sleeve, with her vintage Levi's, like 501s.
Oh my gosh.
And just, like, her boots. Sometimes she would wear her big buckles. Like, it's just, like, I love, that was, like, total, like, 90s.
It was so simple.
Yeah, so simple, but so chic.
Yeah, chic. And it was, like, statement pieces.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, because today, I follow, like, different Latina pages on Instagram, and I see on there something about, like, how is it that, like, white girls are making this cool, when back then, and for me it was like, hey, everyone can do everything. Yeah. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's expression. It's what you're feeling in that moment. It's not you know, and I get it to an extent. In some places there can be appropriation, and I understand that can be problematic. But in this case, I'm like, bro, and you know, this girl was basically trying to start something, right? Saying like, oh, how are white girls wearing like the Levi jeans, the sneakers, and the simple top and the hoops and like the braids, right? When Latinas in the 90s were doing that. And it wasn't because we were trying to set a statement. It was like, oh no, this is what we can afford. Right?
Exactly.
And so now it's like, oh, now it's simple. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, do we want to get mad about something like that? I don't know.
You know what? In my mind, I don't think that we should, you know, kind of like separate people. If they want to wear what they want to wear, well, then so be it.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, that might have been what we had to do back in the day, but now it's in fashion. Ooh, we were in style back then, okay? We did it first. Hey. You know, so I have nothing against, like, you know, people. And that's one thing. I love getting people out of their comfort zone.
I love
like
it.
That, like, to me is like, oh, golden. And then like getting the feedback when they come back again to my shop or to wherever I was working at that time, coming back to me and be like, Mallory, like, oh, I felt so good. I felt so sexy. And like even seeing their stories on Instagram, I'm like, yes, girl, that's my client.
Yeah.
I did that.
And I love that because you actually like be reposting them.
Yes. Oh, like, 100%. Yeah. Like, you know, like, you know, we're just, you know, I started from the bottom, you know, like I did have my mom who mentored me and made me strong and showed me how to be a boss. Not to be scared. She was a single woman, you know, with a teenager and one going to be a teenager, you know? Ooh, so yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. You know, and she did it all on her own. And there's nothing that can scare me. Like, I kid you not. I don't know if it's because I was raised at the swap meets that I'm just like, nothing intimidates me. Like, you know, maybe the camera, but, meaning like I'm not scared to do such like hard work.
Yeah, like you'll ask the questions. You'll ask, you know, for the favor if you know that, because you have confidence and belief in yourself.
Oh yeah.
And I think that seeing, you know, from an outsider's perspective looking in and knowing you for so many years now, right? And I think our connection is Andrew Omo. Shout out Andrew Omo.
Andrew, my baby.
Yeah. And it's so funny because obviously like you were closer to Andrew, I'm closer to Jessica, his cousin.
Yeah.
Right? And it makes sense, right? Andrew's a little bit more wild, you're a little more wild.
I'm a wild girl.
She's a wild girl. I'm very like nerdy. Look what we're doing right now on a Friday night.
That's my kind of Friday night.
Shoot.
I'm a mommy now. This is my kind of fun.
I love it. I was like, I think I told my boyfriend the other day after we went to your pop-up, I was like, I don't know if Mallory 25-year-old and Mallory and I mean, I was on my pendejadas, but no, more importantly, I was like perreando too, you know, in my 20s. But you guys were, I was like, damn, that's boldness to another level that I do not understand, girl. And so I was like, I think Mallory today and just today finally have met at the right time.
At the right time, honestly, at the perfect time. Yeah. Like, I kid you not, like, I mean, in high school, like, although I was a little weirdo too, like, you know, I was a little nerdy too, but I was just so myself. And, you know, like, it did, like, I'm really happy with the Mallory that I've become now. Like, honestly, like, all my struggles and all my, like, why, asking why, like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
It all makes
full
sense.
Circle.
Yeah, honestly. So, yeah, just keep on pushing.
Yeah, I mean,
keep on finding yourself.
You're the definition of that. I mean, because you went from like I said, you guys. What did you guys do? You and your mom were like walking the swap meets.
Swap meets, fucking setting. Oops.
No, you can cuss. People are always like, "Can I?" Their veins are like popping out of their heads. Like, I just gotta say fuck once. Oh my god. No, let her rip.
Okay, thank you, guys. Yeah, just like, you know, like, I remember I've never been ashamed.
That's great.
I've never been ashamed of working at the swap meet, but I remember in middle school and even in high school, they made fun of people and, you know, that their parents worked at the swap meet.
I remember.
And I was just like, but why, if we're wearing better stuff than you are, like, why, you know?
Ahead, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like,
access.
Yeah, so I've always like stood my ground, and I've always, if anyone tried to bully me, I would like right there and then like, hey, stop them right there and then. Like, not trying to hurt their feelings or anything, but hey, like, you're trying to hurt mine, I'm gonna hurt yours.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, it's
You're like, I'm gonna stop it real quick.
I'm gonna stop it real quick without really hurting you.
And we're not even gonna fight. But we're stopping this right now. Yeah. And man, it's crazy, and it's so funny because my history with swap meets is kind of quirky, and we maybe crossed paths and didn't even know it. But did you guys go out of Paramount swap meet?
Sometimes, very few. Not really in my younger years, but it was just not really our cup of tea.
Scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the listeners, Paramount is a really small, teeny tiny city that we
tiny.
Yeah, tiny, full of factories in between Downey, Norwalk, Long Beach, and Compton, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And they had a swap meet, and actually, shout out to Paramount swap meet today because
and my sister that works there.
Hey,
get it, Memi Diaz.
They also have the other only cool drive-in in town. So talk about bringing it back. Everything comes back. Yes. Everything.
I'm so happy they did.
All the, what is it? All the 20-year-olds right now are wearing like the mom jeans. The crop top.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like.
All day long. Now cowboy boots.
I know.
It's about sneakers and cowboy boots.
Yeah. I'm here for the cowboy boots. I have some purple ones that just came in from Barcelona.
Okay.
And they're like purple, like the little microphone head.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, I gotta see those.
I'll send you a picture.
I gotta see those.
I'll post them on the Instagram.
Okay.
But yeah, and so anyway, circling back, my history with the swap meet, and I think you'll appreciate this a little bit, was like in 5th grade. For some reason, I don't know if you grow, it's a thing about having multiple siblings, a single mom, because my mom was also single on the latter half of my young years, if you will, And I remember being like, oh, I want this. She's like, well, we can't afford it. I'm like, oh, we're so poor. Like, we really weren't. Okay. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to get a job. I'm in 5th grade, girl. Okay. So I walk my happy ass one day, boop, 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 to Paramount swap meet. One day only. Hot as balls. Hot. Oh, my God. And I'm like, hey, does anybody need help? I need to make money. And so I had one day that I got to work out of a pop-up that sold cartridge, like Nintendo cartridges. Okay. Little Playboy, like not the Playboy, what is it? The little, you know.
Is it like?
I love it. We're both women that do not game. We're like the thing where you Pokemon.
The video game
that
thing,
one with
you know?
the buttons.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, Nintendo. Boop, boop.
Yes. That's funny.
Oh my God. And so I remember working with this guy, and this other guy was his helper, and it was so hot. I just remember being so hot that day. And I don't know, I made $20. They gave me a ride home. I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like, man, I wouldn't let my kid do that. My poor mom was dealing with like 5 other children. My older sister, Julie, ironically, was such a handful. And my youngest brother, Isaiah, has like a skin condition. So he has to, he's special needs. And that was just a lot for her. So it was bonkers. So she couldn't be like, oh, where the hell's my daughter today? Yeah. So I'm over here like trying to make chip, if you will. Yeah. I'm collecting the bag at 5th grade, you right? And I'm fortunate that nothing happened to me. Yes. Very happy. But I do remember there was the helper guy. He was running around shirtless the whole time because it was so hot that day. And he was so tatted up. And he had tats all over his arms, right? Just like us, whatever. Yeah. But then like on his stomach, it's still the funniest thing to me. He had like legit lines, and it was like lines, like someone was tattooing him, and he was jolting.
Oh, yeah. That is funny.
and I was like, sir, like, what happened to your stomach? You have, why isn't... He was like, that is the worst pain, the worst feeling tattoo that you, like, out of any... And people will argue, right? I think it's subjective. Some people say the feet, the ankle. It's different. Right? But for him, it was his stomach. It was, like, not... It was the worst pain he's ever felt, he said. Wow. So he just bailed. And so he's stuck with this, like... these lines, like... connect the dots shit, right?
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, I was like... These are some strange-ass memories to have as a 5th grader.
As a 5th grader, for sure. And there's a reason why you never went back, right?
Probably. I think my mom was like, you went where? You did what?
Yeah.
Where? I thought you were down the street with your friends.
Oh, my goodness.
But I made $20.
That's awesome. Aw. You little 5th grader, I would have given you a job. I would have, 100%.
I feel like, again, it's not like a race thing necessarily. It's an income thing, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, those with lesser income with kids, those kids specifically are going to know what those struggles are economically. And they're going to have to understand things earlier on about what surviving is, what privilege is, what, you know what I mean? Yeah. Does it teach gratitude? Absolutely. Does it add an earlier stress level? Perhaps. And that's just the thing, right? Because I grew up with kids whose parents never ever talked about finances in front of their kids. And so they grew up fine, but it took them a while to for the synapses to click, to go, oh, that works because of that, versus kids that are, grew up like me. That was like, oh, mom's having a hard time right now. Mm-hmm. We're all having a hard time right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think that's why when, originally I knew about what you were doing, because I've been, we've been social friends for a very long time.
For a very long time.
And I was like, damn, get it, girl. And then eventually, what year was it that you opened up your storefront?
Just 2 years ago. Yeah.
During the pandemic?
During the pandemic.
Dios mío.
I know, right? Gracias a Dios. Seriously. It's been a journey, having the shop now and having the storefront, it just doesn't give me the liberty at all. I thought it would, but it does not.
The liberty
of how I used to have it, working at the swap meets. I had, 5-6 days out of the week that I would work. And then the rest of the days, for almost 2 years, we worked almost every day. We would have 1 day off.
Wow.
My mother and I. And me being pregnant too, I'm just wow.
Yeah.
But it was our first store, and it was just a 1-year lease. Mm-hmm. We've been there for 2 years now.
I know.
And we were just, okay, we got to work. We got to open every day and just work, and get as much as we can out of this property. We're still here. We're still at that property. And, I'm just hoping to God that everything just turns into, everything goes on our favor,
Yeah.
So.
What's something that you feel an average person doesn't understand about what you guys work in, something that you're like, man, I wish more people understood the struggle of this area, so that way maybe if they were to go into a small business one day, they can go with a different approach.
And I think it would be that, because I think it would be what I just talked about that liberty. We're not going to have that, And they say I kind of made my research and everything. And they said, a business, a storefront, you're going to know whether you make it within 3 years. And we're in our second, and it's still okay, we got to, keep going. Now we do take 2 days off. But the one thing that I would like to tell people is just to hang in there, hang in.
I'll take that advice.
You know what?
I'm in my first year of podcasting, and I'm like, why am I not at 150,000 downloads right now? Keep going.
Just keep on going, and it's hard, because owning your store, for a lot of I'm thinking, and I kind of heart on a lot of older business, business owners that have been in business for so long, and this social media, they don't really understand it. If you don't hire someone to get that going for you, because that makes that right there, social media, interacting with your clients.
Right. So to me, it's like a two-edged sword in a weird way. One side of the sword could be, that one edge is good and the other edge is bad. Usually 2 edges of the sword means it's not good.
Yeah.
Either way. But I get it. A part of me is okay, this helps you reach your people, quote unquote, right?
Yeah.
In my case, your listeners, the people that are really engaged, that really care about your show, they're going to be writing, they're going to be liking, they're going to be reposting, they're going to go on, on their stories, whatever. And then there's a validation that exists in that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then on the other front, it's but what if I just want to be a chef? When did me becoming a chef mean that I have to become a marketing person? It's bonkers, right?
Yeah.
And then I took like a 2-week break in my streaming releases because I was like, for a long time I was editing off this computer and I'm like, I love you. You're the best 2016 computer, whatever. But it would take like 4 hours to export a file. Wow. And the other day it took me 15 minutes on my new machine. My new machine cost me an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? But it's not something that you're just like, oh, I'm just going to buy this new computer. Right? I'm going to buy a boat. It's not a big... Like, no, it doesn't... Anyway, this is a part of the process, right?
It is. Yeah.
And
every little bit of it.
All of it.
Every headache.
Yeah. Anyway, where are you and your mom today as far as, because you guys are 2 years into your business. You're like, all right, we got that 1 year. And I feel like drama always ensues. There's always like something hiding around the corner.
Yes, girl.
So what's, I want to know, I saw like on your story about the building.
So the building is on escrow as of now. But what I hear, the rumors are that we actually had a public hearing yesterday for the building. So what they're trying to do with my building, which is a historical building, they're trying to tear that one all the way up to the corner building, which you've seen.
Yeah.
They're trying to do this big development. Why? There's already enough, it's already Why? Why build so much?
More. What do we need more apartments for?
So they're trying to, do businesses on the bottom and like just a whole bunch of apartments on the top, which would really damage like my neighbors in the back. Because, we're in an uphill. If they do those big old buildings, like the cost of value for their homes are going to go down. Reason why? Because they're not going to have that view of the ocean.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Not only that, it's just too much traffic, too many people, and it's a historical building. Why?
Yeah. And I noticed that buildings going to the left of your building, they all have like some type of vintage feel to them.
They do. They're all like, I mean, my building was built in 1905, and I have this huge like machinery to press metal, and it's so cool because it looks so good with our aesthetics.
Oh, I love
and
it.
People love it.
You guys have created your own brand. How do you source your materials? Like what goes into going
everywhere?
Because technically you're not just a storefront owner, you're not just a business owner, you're a stylist.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
You know what? Again, it all starts with my mom. Honestly, like she has been my idol for everything with like just being so open with her clients and the way her dressing. But I think vintage journey, I would not have this if it weren't for my mom. My mom wouldn't have it if it weren't for me. It's both of us, honestly, 100. Like 100%, like it's 50-50. We love fashion and we love to like get people out of their comfort zone. Like that's us. Like, you know what? Like you would look good in this.
Yeah.
And they're like,
are you
try
sure?
it on. Try it on.
Sure?
And right there and then.
So you're literally like making someone feel good every day.
Honestly. And it feels good, like, don't get me wrong. There's hard times in any work of industry that you're in, you know. I'm sure that you have days that you're just like,
my brain is fried.
Do I really want to talk? It's like kind of like, do I really want to?
Do I really want to talk and sip today?
Sip every day, all day long. But yeah, it's definitely, it's been a journey.
What are your goals?
Oh my God. What are my goals?
You're like, there's so many.
There's so many. There is. I think as of right now, I think my whole like energy and my thoughts right now is just, I want to own that. I want to own Vintage Dirty Laundry, the building. I want to own it. And if I do, oh my God, I would do so many things.
Oh yeah, because you have that entire
I have a huge
space.
lot in the back, and I want to build little shops out of container. Ooh. Now there's something else that I love besides vintage and fashion, and that's coffee.
Yes, queen.
Yes. So another really goal that I have is to own my little coffee shop. And if it could stay there at that location in the back in a little kind of,
Preach, yes. The cold brew, the latte.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's another thing. But that will follow. Right now, my whole focus is just like, I don't know, praying to the gods of everywhere and just like.
We're just taking one step
at a time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tell us.
And that's
Gossip
honestly,
corner.
I know. I would like to like branch. I would love to open another shop. Now, I think that would be a good idea after some time at that shop.
Yeah.
But we definitely have all the merchandise to take, half of it elsewhere, Me and my mom are always sourcing. We are sourcing almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So whether it's like looking online, whether it's looking out of state, like it's just everywhere.
The part to me out of everything that you guys do that really like, okay, this is my gripe. Tangent time. I always tangent. Everyone knows. My gripe right now with Earth, not Mother Earth. Let's clarify that before people come for me. With Earth is that before pandemic happened, we were getting really good about like not using plastic bags, not using plastic farts and fucking red Solo cups, right? Yeah. And as soon as pandemic hit, it was
like we forgot.
Wait, what? What? We're gonna make more plastic? Wait, no, more than before. And it's like bonkers to me. It's worse than it's ever been, right? Because everyone's like, we can't grab from the same bin, so now we got to put all of this teeny tiny food in repetitive plastic containers. Oh my God, look, we're disgusting people, okay? Like, where's our immune system gonna build if not from sharing the same food from the same aluminum tray? I'm just saying. And so what I love about your business and what immediately, like you said from the very get-go, was that you're like, dude, we're using whatever recycled hangers we find,
whatever, like
the clothes that we're sourcing is vintage.
It's vintage. It's recycled. And we recreate vintage too.
Exactly.
Like I've showed you. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Where you're like, this shirt exists. I'm going to shape it into a different silhouette.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Where can we find physically if they wanted to walk into your shop for some rad cowboy boots, for some crop tops, for some denim, for some cool vintage coats? Where can they physically walk into?
You can walk or drive, take a boat, fly,
skate.
Skate, roller skate, any kind of skate. We're located in 132 North Catalina Avenue, Redondo Beach, 90277.
Ooh, so profesh.
Right? Was it cute?
Yeah, that was hecka cute. I'm like, yes, let me write that down. Ooh, let me get to our shop.
Write that down, guys.
And buy some awesome vintage dirty laundry.
I love it.
It's crazy. Thinking about just how the industry has changed, and that little quick fact we got at the beginning, how before you're like, ooh, it's too current but not old enough, so it's technically like you're poor. And it's like now, because fashion just goes in circles and circles and circles. I made this joke to a coworker the other day. I was like, it's so crazy because I was like, are we going back? Like right now, the fashion that has returned in 2020, what are we? 1, 2? I don't know. Girl, I don't know. Girl, I don't know.
I know.
It's woo. Anyway, and it's like, okay, are we going towards the 80s because we're rocking 90s, or are we going towards the 2000s? And what I'm hearing, word on the curve from the older people, they were like, Jessica, I think we're going towards the 2000s. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Yeah, we are. So do you remember, and this is me going on a tangent, do you remember when people used to wear DC shoes? Oh my God, Rob Dyrdek, my boy, it's gonna be your time all over again. That's what that means, right? Oh shit. And so I remember they used to put like a sock or two underneath the lip of a tennis shoe.
Yes. Yeah. I do remember that.
Do you remember the goiter shoe?
I do remember that. I remember the Adidas. I remember the Fat Farms.
Yeah, Fat Farms.
Yeah.
Boo, boo.
Yeah. I remember that clearly, and I really hope that doesn't come back.
Oh, my God. Well, because we were laughing, and I'm guilty as charged. Like the whole getting like a bodysuit with jeans, and it's like only half, especially because I'm only half sleeved. I'm like, let me just cover this arm and show off my ink on the other side.
I like it.
And it's, bro, that's like a latter half 90s for sure. Early 2000s.
Yeah, the one sleeves. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes sense. Britney's back.
Britney is back, and I'm so happy for her. Oh my goodness, I am so happy for her. I am.
Good time.
I know.
But anyway, these facts about vintage clothing that will blow your mind. So I want to kind of go over these with you.
Okay.
And you tell me if this is like sus or if it's like pretty legit.
Okay.
And so apparently used clothing resales is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And apparently like Goodwill Industries the other year, i.e. $6 billion. I'm like, how the fuck is Goodwill making $6 billion in a business year when they have like Dollar Thursdays? Is there that much clothes?
I won't say that, that can't happen, but that makes a lot of sense to me because from what I know, I won't say what companies, but from what I know, certain companies buy certain things. Like, for instance, if Goodwill has what they want, they won't sell it at their floor. They will keep it for them and sell it wholesale to them.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Because I've dumped shit at Goodwill that I'm like, I don't need this, but it's good quality, and I don't feel like putting it on offer up. And it's like, oh, you think you're the only one supplying.
Uh-huh.
Nope. Nope. That makes sense. Okay. The other thing I've discovered is that clothing resale has become a destination shopping experience, which... Hello. That's what you are, right?
Yeah.
Like people go and they're like, I'm going to put on my cowboy boots. I'm sure there's a country song out there.
Uh-huh. There is.
And also they get to wear your super cute cropped vintage dirty laundry
shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, dude, I need to buy me one of those.
Oh my God. If I would have known, I would have brought you one.
Oh my God.
But now I know.
Okay, for next time, I'll come
next
visit
time.
Which, makes sense, right? You're just one example of that. But that's great because this is all refurbished clothes. It's clothes that existed. It was once on someone's body. And it's not new textile garments, right? So I think that's pretty awesome. And it's like, what is it? It's like resale therapy.
Yeah.
Instead of retail therapy.
Retail. Yeah. Resale. That's good.
Right?
I like that.
All right. 80% of the world shops resale. I didn't know this. What?
You know what? It's so believable. It's so much in style right now. It's a lifestyle too. Like, we have to remember that there are people out there just trying to do better for the earth.
Yeah.
So that's their lifestyle, is buying vintage, buying, reused clothes.
The U.S. exports tons of used clothing each year, literally. So even with all those resale shoppers, oftentimes thrift and resale stores can't handle the volume of donations. I'm sorry, Goodwill. I will chill. Pouring through the doors. So we are a society of stuff. And it's true because especially within the last 2 years since the pandemic, those poor Amazon workers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were just like, buy. I'm guilty. I'm trying to slow down. I'm trying to save money. There's this, I don't know if he's a pastor. I don't think he's a pastor, but basically he's church oriented. His name is Dave Ramsey. And it's like, if your car is worth more than half of your yearly income, your car is too expensive and you're wasting money. And I'm like, he right though. And it's like, when your car payment's like over $500 plus insurance, nah, dog.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, he right though. He right. And it's like, I'm guilty of this. And I even was like, propaganda, yes. I was like, do the paying for it. But at the end of the other day, I had a come to Jesus moment. And I was like, let me just check how many paying fors I've done. And then I looked and I did the math and I was like, no, pues wow. What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I still spend.
What are we doing?
But it's like, but I didn't pay it right away. So
I know, those afterpays. Ooh, they get you.
Yeah, you gotta. So now I'm like, okay, it has to be like a chastity belt situation. It's like, are you worthy of my paying for? Like, I have to see it that way because I'm like, I could just pay it for. And then next thing you know, you have like 12 paying fors that were like $300 each. You're like, oh, Dios.
Dios mío.
No. Well, it turns out that because we are a society full of stuff in the U.S., those donations usually end up going overseas. And we are the largest exporter of used textiles in the world. So don't worry, your donations are always going to support and promote worthy causes. Even if they don't end up at the Goodwill, they end up somewhere where they should. That could help people.
I A lot of clients actually drop off clothes. Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah. So what they, it's donations, and I'm like, oh, well, I can always give it to the homeless, or I could drive it to TJ. So I've done it twice where
I'm here for this.
3 people donated, and homeless here are they're weird. They're picky. They're very picky.
I've had that happen before. They're like, what?
No,
Yeah. I was just trying to help.
Yeah. So what we have done twice is take stuff to TJ, and we do what we have to do out there,
Respect.
and then give out what we have to do,
And they're more,
or what we can.
they're a little bit more
Grateful.
yeah.
Oh, so much.
So I know a second ago I was like, go US, woo! Well, we're kind of trash sometimes. So the US trashes tons of used clothes each year, literally. The US alone sends about 21 billion pounds of used textiles to the landfills annually. Like what? Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
21 billion pounds. That's why it's really important, you guys out there listening, that when you dispose of clothing, you do it in a responsible manner whenever possible. Donating it to resale shops versus trashing your items is one way to do so. Donating, exporting, and recycling and upcycling, yes, that's the word, used clothing and other items helps to keep these items from ending up in where? Our landfills, where everyone thinks it's like a magical land where things disintegrate, and they don't. So right, they really don't. They're just, so even if you don't want to shop vintage, why would you not? Which reduces the demand of new clothing, thus saving, virgin resources from ever being tapped into. You can help the environment exponentially, and we're going to use that word exponentially.
Love it.
Just by donating your gently used clothing and goods instead of binning them. But really, who doesn't want to shop vintage?
I know. It's so trendy right now, and mind you, a lot of us have been liking it or loving it since way before it was a thing. But honestly, I'd rather have everyone on the same page. Maybe not on the same page, but at least in the recycling, type of page, and just like shop vintage. Why not?
Why not?
It's trendy.
It's trendy. And what's beautiful about this style is that it's transcended through race, through culture.
I love it.
I love it. I love it because you're saying, when you were young, you saw the Japanese people and the Japanese women wearing a mixture of 50s and
just like the whole that's the one thing that I do remember being in middle school. It was so harsh, because I love heavy metal. I love my rap. I love my country. I love my house music. Mm-hmm. I'm a lover of all music, and at a very young age, I was already in that because, I was just so introduced to so many musics. And back in the day, in our middle school days, it was harsh. Like, you had to listen to one thing or else you were a poser. Do you remember that?
Yes, bitch. Yes. Oh my God.
It was awful.
It was awful.
It was so awful.
I'm so triggered right now.
Yeah. I mean,
are you? Ew, you're such a poser. You're not. Don't wear that Iron Maiden shirt.
If you're gonna wear sneakers. Ew. I'm like, I was a thrasher, and I didn't even know it at that time. I didn't even know it at that time, It's,
rude.
Rude. I'm just so glad that I think we're past that.
We are. I feel like everyone's like, I listen to everything.
Right? I'm just so happy that we're at this.
That's the flex now.
Yeah. At least a little easier. At least in that,
I may feel however I feel about Gen Z, if you will. But I will credit them because they're so empathetic and they're so on the other end of like, are you being a bully right now? Don't be a bully right now. Yeah. They're so about like just being just. And I love that. Even if they're, I saw a meme the other day. It's all like, yeah, Gen Z, you want to wear 90s outfits? You want to wear the baggy jeans and the crop tops and the sneakers? Like, shave your eyebrows, you cowards.
I love that. I'll shave them.
Right? Because they used to overpluck them back in the day. I was guilty of that. Now my shit's tattooed, so I never color them in.
Oh,
Yeah.
you look great.
Thank you.
You look really good. I've always had bushy eyebrows.
I mean, mine are bushy too, but I was like, how can I get them more bushy?
They're really nice.
Thank you.
Oh, you can't even tell.
They're microbladed.
Ooh, very nice.
That shit hurt the second time around. She was
Really?
I could hear her go
Oh,
on my face. It was wild. Anyway, I just before we go, because we're gonna go on tangents for hours.
I know. I know.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Mama Magda. Is it Magda?
Magda.
Magda
Yeah.
Moriel.
Yes.
Because without her, like, your brand, obviously it takes two to tango.
Oh, yeah.
But that influence and just the way you described her.
And that trust.
And yes. But I'm like, man, I'm getting mad Selena vibes from your mom
Ooh,
when she was in her youth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
And now I
That's
see your
total
mom
Selena.
tatted. And just earlier
That's
today,
so-
she was like, hey, did that girl pay you?
I know.
And you're like, yes, Mom, I made it safely to Hollywood. Yes, I'm here for a podcast interview. But sure, that girl did pay me, Mom. Thanks for wondering.
She's so strong, and I just love that about her.
Oh, what a bad bee. I love her.
She is a bad bee. She is.
Yes. In this podcast, I love asking my guests, would you rather? Because I love putting you guys in like these impossible situations that make you go, oh, what the fuck? It's a troubleshooting part of. Okay. I know you're a mommy and you're like, I love it. What the fuck?
Oh, 100%.
I love that. That's where you are in life.
My eyes are getting watery. I'm like, I can't wait to
I
go
love
hug her.
Oh,
It's insane. Yeah.
I love it.
Gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Okay. Would you rather have, if you had to choose?
Okay. I'm ready to choose.
All right, let's do it. Bring it. She's like,
okay.
bring it, bitch.
Bring it.
Bitch. Would you rather, if you had to choose, this is such a hard, no, it's not a hard one. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a business woman extraordinaire, vintage dirty laundry, you have multiple shops in West Hollywood, in Rodeo,
Oh, okay.
in New York,
Oh, shit.
girl, in Austin,
Wow.
Portland?
Damn.
Question mark?
How'd you know?
What?
How'd you know?
Or would you have triplets of the same daughter you have today? That's not fair.
Jesus.
I know. I make it
Wait.
so hard.
So if I were to have the other stores, would I just have one Sage?
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God, I would go with one Sage and everything else. But if I could have no Sage, then I would rather have three of them. Anything.
I almost said no Sage, but I'm not a witch. I'm not a wicked witch, even though come next week it's time for Toxic Sips. Ooh, so all of October it gets wicked and spooky. We went from Toxic Sips to Toxic Sips. So I feel bad for their would you rathers. They're not going to be fun.
They're not going to be.
No,
They're not going to be fun.
No, I don't know how Octomom did it.
Girl, I don't even know either. She must have some nannies or something.
I feel like off camera we gotta whisper about this because I've never had a baby. I
will tell you all the real everything. I won't lie.
Maybe we'll have another episode. We'll have you come on and be like, "This is how you make a baby. The process of baking a baby."
Okay.
And where the baby is at today?
Where is the baby?
Where is your baby?
She's at home with my mom. Her baby. I'm sorry, my baby daddy.
Your baby daddy.
Yeah, he's at the gym right now. So
Getting gains. The gains are
Yes.
important. Don't
One
forget
of us
it.
has to do it. One of us has to get it.
I mean, I don't mean to shame you, but we had a very, very awesome moment coming up the stairs earlier.
Oh, I know.
You were like, bitch.
You know what?
You know what, though?
It's kind of depressing for me. You know, I'm a very athletic girl, so
You are.
I am very.
I saw you Peloton in your
Yeah.
your shop. Yeah, I seen it.
And I still don't find the time to do it. It's
Not that you
hard.
don't find the time. I think it's that you have so much going on. And I don't mean to be like, let me tell you what you're doing with your life. But just from like an outsider's perspective looking in, I'm like, oh shit. Like you have a child, you have a flourishing business that's still, you know, like blooming, if you will.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Like 100. And mind you that I take my baby girl to work with me.
Oh, yeah.
So it gets very challenging.
It's always bring your child to work day.
It's always, for me, it's always bring your child to work. But I wouldn't have it any other day. I have the ocean just a block away that I'm able to take her.
Just a block away on the Strand.
Just a block away of the Strand.
Yeah. The Strand, beautiful. I love the Strand. I go skating there.
Oh, me too. We should go skating.
Yeah,
roller skating.
Yes, girl.
Let's do it.
So you got big quads, big calves, big booties, you know?
I'm trying.
Let me tell you about this dream. Tangent time. I have this dream that because I eventually, actually, I know this is very cliche, but I'd love to direct a film one day. I know. Isn't that wild? Which is why I do what I do, because I film every single episode on purpose. There's not one episode that you can't catch on video. And I edit it and I write it. And so it's baby from inception to delivery. And I'm like, okay, like at least I have something that I show that I can, you know, give direction. And that's why I go and I film now extra content with, you know, we'll be able to show them your pop-up.
Yeah.
And so what I really want to do one day is just get a ton of girls or guys, who cares, who skate, and I want to make like a mini movie where it's like, because everyone has their own swagger as far as their skate style, and it's like, oh, I'd love to have like a story where it's like at the end of the day everyone combines and they break out into dance.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
But it starts with like, oh, you're goth, oh, you're pop, oh, you're blah blah blah, but they're all skaters, and then eventually it's like, but we all have this in common. Yeah. We all love this. Let's get together and do some fucking badass movies.
I love that.
Anyway.
I love that.
So that's kind of one of my dreams.
I'll be in it.
Hey.
I'll be doing my little groove.
You'll be my vintage one.
With my cowboy hat. I'll do it.
Hey, I love it. I'm here for it. Let's do it. I always think, like, how often do you think of runways?
Oh, every second that I have free time. Honestly, like, that is so funny that you asked me that, because a Sharkies in Hermosa Beach asked me to do a runway.
That's a win. Can I be there? I'm so there.
It's on a text message. I cannot, but I will let you know.
Oh my God.
I cannot remember.
Yes. Oh my God. Can I be in this runway?
Of course. My God, yes. I would love that.
That's so rad. Wait, no, who's going to film? Josh. I used to always have a final question for people, and then I've since retired, and now I go, boo, you. And so this is for you. Okay. What would you like more people to talk and sip about?
Not to sugarcoat anything. I'm a realist, and in the fashion industry, in the vintage industry, it can be very harsh. I'm a very kind person, and I've learned over the past and just recently that I need to not be so nice and stand my ground. I do believe that there is no competition, because everyone has their own style, their own eye.
And their own journey.
But there are people that are going to try to kind of have your eye. And
I'm going to say a lot of... And I had a singer once on here, right? And I was like, there's no music that can be created that isn't inspired from something else, but make it your own. Be authentic to yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, don't, because the moment that it's not you, and I think I like preach this every single episode. I'm like, the reason that I do what I do, the reason why I joke around about me being in this studio all the time is like, I'm being authentic to my true self. I'm your hype girl, because I want to be hyped up too, right? Yeah. I'm the girl that's going to take your beautiful IG photo, because I'd hope one day for someone to take my IG photo, right?
Exactly.
Like, come on now. And that's the thing, as long as you're real to who you are, like, do I sometimes post pictures and leotards on IG? Fuck yeah, because one day I'm going to be old as fuck.
Exactly. Right? And why not? I like to show my booty.
Who cares?
I'm a mommy and I got a boyfriend that don't like me showing my booty.
But deal with it, Justin.
Justin Daniel Casillas.
But you know what I mean? Like, one day we're not going to have these bodies.
Exactly. And that, I'm not going to lie.
Or the energy or the spirit.
You know, we can all, be jealous and some,
and
but
you know where that comes from.
you know where that comes from.
Insecurities,
yeah.
I respect that. I respect that you're telling the listeners to go, hey, you know what? Be honest.
Be honest, yeah.
Don't go, hey, that'd be really nice if you did this, but like,
just
be
real. Be real. Even also as being a mommy, like being a parent isn't always butterflies and giggles, like there's hard times, especially for first-time mommies, first-time parents, like,
Yeah, and know that like if you're struggle busting real hard, it's cool.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Talk to other mommies about it.
Yeah.
This
kid took the giant diarrhea that I didn't know existed.
There's things like that too. Like, it's insane. And my baby girl's only 1 in 3 months.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Do you have any final thoughts before we go?
Don't be ever afraid of what you're feeling, what you're going through, whether it's your business, being a business owner, even being partners, because whether or not I am partners with my mother, just talk about it. Whether, being a mommy, a parent, talk about it. Talk to other people, because you're not the only one feeling these feelings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I appreciate that. Poor Josh had to deal with that earlier today when I was like, I know we're going out tonight and I'm having this feeling or this thought, more correctly to say. And if I don't tell you right now while I'm sober, it's going to bottle up and be real annoying later. So, guys, and also like graciously, right? So I think there's truth to be said when you can approach things candidly, but also like empathetically, right? So you're not saying, oh, you're feeling it. You're going, hey, I didn't appreciate this because of A, B, and C.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
not. Sometimes a lot of people misjudge when they're being approached about something about their character.
Yeah, and don't shut people off either. Let them talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I think that's the big thing. Like, okay, sometimes some people need that reinforcement to know, like, I'm bringing this up based off of what happened that time. Yeah. This isn't a judgment on your character. Yeah. Right. So just throwing that out there. But anyways, thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, anytime. It's been a pleasure.
Yay, Mallory.
It's been a pleasure. I was nervous.
And look at you. You're like a natural.
I know.
I keep being this taker awayeth of podcast cherries for people.
I know.
So many people are like, I've never been on one. Oh my God, I'm so
first
nervous.
Time, guys.
Guys, it's my first time.
I know. You saw me sweaty in the beginning. I know.
Yep. And I got your back, though. I got your back.
Thank you.
But, alrighty. And now it's time for our thank yous and goodbyes. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Chris Bonifay at Sent to Destroy Studios for adopting me and my colorful little show in your metal cave. So thank you so much for adopting us and being like, yeah, ugly cousin, whatever. Creative producer Joshua Taylor for being like, babe, that didn't work. And also, steam those curtains behind you, girl. They're wrinkly. And I'm like, okay. Extra equipment by Ted Lee Jones. Thank you so much, Ted. You are the reason that we can see beautiful Mallory today. Ay.
Thank you.
Visual graphics, the ones that you see on social media. Eric Ayala, you are the real MVP. I'm so glad we met in college. Thank you. And my beautiful guest, Mallory Moriel.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me and my story and Vintage Dirty Laundry. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, and not by any means, thank you, listeners, for tuning in every single week. Make sure to become a patron for $5 a month. And, it's only like a quarter cost of avocado toast and maybe $1 less than Starbucks coffee. Just saying. Because of the patron subscribers that are current and active, we try to do special things for you guys every single month, and Halloween is coming, so I'm pretty sure at this point, yes, you would have received, your Toxic Sips keychains. So become a patron, $5 a month, and make sure to catch the extra content that comes out at the end of the week / beginning of the next week for our previous guest, i.e. Mallory, about what are we going to see? We're going to see your pop-up, of course.
Yes. Thank you.
With tons of motorcycles. How exciting. So become a patron and check out the extra content. Make sure to follow Mallory at
vintage_dirty_laundry.
Yes, find her there so you can find the storefront and find your fashion, your fashion needs, because, everyone needs that drip. And, don't forget to follow the pod at Talks and Sips at TalksandSips. NSIPS, and myself at Jayfoxx with 2 X's and 2 underscores. Feel free to write in at talksandsips@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. You got to tell me, yes, Jess, that was really great information. No, Jess, that was not great information because it's not the most current, girl. Let me tell you. Whatever. We'd love to hear from you. Also, message the pod for more merch. We're down to our last few bucket hats and baseball caps and what have you. And we'll have more merch for Toxic Sips. So make sure to message the pod. We have PayPal. Also, last but not least, if you want more information, hit up the website at talksandsips.com. Yeah, I didn't need to pause there, but I did. So here we are, talksandsips.com if you want more information. I am Jayfoxx, and you are?
Mallory Moriel for Vintage Dirty Laundry.
Yes, Queen. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.